Hello everyone, I welcome you in the virtual classroom of business environment. We are discussing unit number 4, public finance. In introductory lecture, I have given you the meaning and definition of public finance. Public finance simply means collection of funds and utilization of funds by the government for the betterment of public. What is the role of government? The role of government is to provide facilities to the public as well as to have a steady growth of economy. Steady growth simply means not to have inflation and not to have recession. So keeping an economy in a middle way for where no inflation is there and no recession is there, two policies are there in the hands of government, and that policies are one, monetary policy, and second, fiscal policy. In our syllabus we need to focus on fiscal policy. What is fiscal policy? Fiscal policy is a policy related to tax. With the help of taxation, government tries to control the economic activity moving too far above the middle range and going too below the middle range. Means with the help of taxation, government tries to remove inflationary and recessionary situation in our economy. In today's lecture, we will discuss the objectives of fiscal policy. As shown in this chart, there are 7 objectives of fiscal policies, which are: first, to increase the process of capital formation. Second objective is to increase national income. Third, to control inflation. Fourth, equal distribution of income. Fifth, removal of unemployment. Next, reducing regional disparities. And the last one, to improve balance of payment. Now let us discuss these objectives in detail. First objective is to increase the process of capital formation. A newly developing economy is encompassed by vicious circle of poverty. Therefore, a balanced growth is needed to break down the vicious circle, which is only feasible with higher rate of capital formation. You know that there are 3 categories of countries: developed countries, developing country, and a underdeveloped country. When a country is in a developing phase, a newly developing country is a country who has just left the underdeveloped status. What is underdeveloped status? Which is full of poverty and unemployment. So when a country is in a developing phase, it means growth is there, but still there is a poverty and unemployment in a huge ratio. And to switch over to the developed phase, government needs to remove the poverty and unemployment from the economy. See, what is the present situation of developing economy? That poverty and unemployments are there. People are earning because country is in a developing phase. Take an example that a person's income is 100 rupee per day. Now in this 100 rupee, he can satisfy his basic needs, basic daily needs only. So what will happen? That he born as a poor. Daily he is earning 100 rupee. At evening he is spending 100 rupee. His one day is over. Again next day he will earn 100 rupee, and the same day he will spend 100 rupee. Second day will over. So this circle will keep moving on and on. Every morning he earns 100 and every evening he spends 100. So there is no saving. He born as a poor, he live as a poor, and he will die as a poor. Why? Because this 100 rupees cycle will keep moving on and on, which make him to be a poor person in a economy. So this is a circle. You want to encounter this circle by taking some steps. If you don't break this circle, you will keep moving on and you will be the poor only. So what are the steps to break this circle? That steps are known as to increase the process of capital formation. Professor Raja J. Chelia recommends that fiscal policy must aim at following for attaining rapid economic growth. These are the steps given by Professor Raja. Four steps are here. Raising the ratio of savings to income by controlling consumption, raising the rate of investment. Third, encouraging the flow of spending into productive way. And the next one, reducing glaring inequalities of income and wealth. Now let us discuss one by one. The first step is raising the ratio of savings to income by controlling consumption. As I have told you that a person earns 100 rupee per day and he spends 100 rupee. So there is no saving. If there is no saving, your income cannot increase. Income will increase when you will save. So how to save? As I told you that 100 rupees is too nominal income, that by which a person satisfies his daily basic needs only. There is no room for saving. In this case, how to save? Take an example that in 100 rupees, 50 rupees is spent behind food, 40 rupees spent behind shelter, and 10 rupee is behind the cloth. As we know that the basic needs of human beings are food, shelter and cloth. So I have divided this 100 rupee in three categories: 50 for food, 40 for shelter and 10 rupee for cloth. Here what is written, that you need to increase saving by controlling consumption. See, there is a room where we can make a savings. As I told you that 10 rupee is spent behind cloth. Every day cloth need is not necessary. I mean, cloth is there, but every day we can postpone our purchase of the clothes. So what will happen is that if government increase the price of the cloth, you know that person's income is 100 rupee, and if the price of cloth will increase by 10 rupee only, then person needs to earn 110 rupee, which is not there. So what will happen? He will drop off the idea of purchasing cloth. In that situation, he will spend only 90 rupees, 50 for the food and 40 for the shelter. As he is not able to spend 20 rupees behind cloth, he will not at all purchase the clothes. By that way, though this sounds very much rigid and ridiculous, but this is the way of doing savings. So what will happen? He is saving 10 rupee. Now with this 10 rupee, will not keep in a room in a treasury. He will invest it somewhere else. So when he will invest, let us suppose that he earns interest of rupee 1. So next day what will happen? Again he will earn 100 rupee plus the interest of 1 rupee. So income will become 101. The same day he will spend 90 rupees. Again he will save 10 rupees. So in 2 days savings will be 20 rupees, and the income from this 20 rupees will be 2 rupees interest rate. So in third day his income will be 103 rupees. You just look at the procedure. First day 100 rupees, second day 101 rupee, third day 102 rupees, next day 103 rupees, and the like. For the sake of simplicity, I have taken a very minimal figure so that you can understand. By this process, there is everyday increase in the income. And how there is increase in the income? By saving 10 rupees. And why person is saving? He is forcefully saving because he is not able to purchase the cloth of rupees 100. Getting it? So why cloth becomes costly? Because government has increased the taxation on clothes. So by controlling the consumption, how a government can control the consumption? By charging higher tax rate. So when government charge higher tax rates, the price of the product will increase, which will make people unaffordable to purchase it, and by that way they will force to save it. Getting it? And when they will save, their income will increase. So that will become the first step of capital formation. You just look at this word. What is written here? That is capital formation. Formation means to create the capital. And how we are creating capital? You know that economy is flooded with a limited capital. Say for example 1 lakh crore of rupees is there in Indian economy, then it will move within the economy but as 1 lakh crore only. It will not increase unless and until you will save it. Getting it? So when you are creating the capital, that is known as a capital formation. The second stage is raising the rate of investment. As I have told you here that people is saving by controlling their consumption, so whatever savings are there in their hand will not be there in a treasury, it will be invested somewhere else. So when savings will increase, investment will automatically increase. Then the third stage is encouraging the flow of spending into productive way. Most of the time what happens that whatever we are earning is utilized behind satisfying the needs and secondly behind the luxuries. If you skip the purchasing luxuries, then the same money you can invest in a productive way. What is productive way? Investing from where you can earn. Say for example, you are having 1 lakh of rupees and you are having two options, to start a business and to purchase an iPhone. You are having 1 lakh of rupees and you are having two options, to purchase an iPhone and to start a business. No doubt business will be started at a very low level, but still business can be started with the help of 1 lakh of rupees. So if you choose to start a business, your spending is utilized behind productive way. From 1 lakh you can create the business of 10 lakh. But by purchasing the iPhone of 1 lakh, you will be nowhere. Day by day the value of phone will reduce and your spending will be behind unproductive activities. So in developing economy, government cannot afford to spend behind luxuries. There is always a necessity to spend behind productive way. So whatever investments are there, generally investments are made with the share market and in a bank as a FD. If we talk about developing countries, then the education within the people is not that much that they will like to invest in a share market. So most of the savings will go to the bank as a FD. So it is a task of bank to give loan for the productive purpose, not for the luxurious purpose. Bank can give you loan of 1 lakh of rupees. Now it is you to decide where to use. You know that when you are going for taking loan, you need to put a file for which reason you are taking a loan. So bank should give loan only for starting new business. Bank should give loans to the entrepreneurs only, not to the consumer. By that way the money can be utilized for a productive purpose. And the last step is reducing glaring inequalities of income and wealth. Developing countries are having, not only developing but every country is having three classes in a population, that is rich class, middle class and poor class. But in developing economy, the gap between rich class and poor class is too much. It is a very high gap between rich class and a poor class. What happened in an economy that suppose 1 trillionaire is there, not a billionaire, I am using the word trillionaire. 1 trillionaire is there in an economy, and second option that we are having 1 lakh millionaire in an economy. What I am saying, to have two options. In first option we are having only 1 trillionaire in the economy, and in the second option we are having 1 lakh millionaire in the economy. So what is feasible option? The beneficial option is having 1 lakh millionaire, because by that way the activities, the economic activity will be speed up in the economy and there will be no poor class. Everyone will be having enough income to satisfy their needs, plus they will help in growing the economy. But if 1 trillionaire will be there, then there will be a least formation of business in the economy. There will be limited employment generation will be there. So that option is not beneficial to have 1 lakh millionaire. So if we have 1 lakh millionaire, we can say that poor class people are very much less in the society. Most of the people are in a middle class and there will be no rich class. So there will society will become a classless society. Poor switch over to the middle class and rich also switch over to middle class. So everyone is in middle class. We cannot term it as a middle class when everyone is in a middle class. By that way the society will become classless society. Now the question is, the present situation is having rich and poor class. We are having rich in the economy and we are having poor in the economy. So how 1 trillionaire can be converted into 1 lakh millionaire? Question is there, right or not? So that can be done by imposing the higher tax rate on a rich class. When too much tax burden will fall on a rich class, their income will reduce and they will fall to the middle class. So whatever the tax income will be in the hand of government will be utilized for strengthening this poor class. So by that way, poor class will switch over to middle class. So everyone will be there in a middle class, and by that way inequalities will be removed. So these are the 4 steps of capital formation. First is raising the ratio of savings to income by controlling consumption. Second one is raising the rate of investment. Third one is encouraging the flow of spending into productive way. And the fourth one is reducing the glaring inequalities of income and wealth. Now let us discuss the second objective of fiscal policy, that is to increase national income. Fiscal policy in a developing economy should aim at achieving an accelerated rate of economic growth. Every economy's objective is to have a growth rate, whether it is developed country or underdeveloped country. The sole goal of any economy is to grow, and to grow the economy, fiscal policy is one of the tools in the hands of government. But a high rate of economic growth cannot be achieved and maintained without stability in an economy. As I told you earlier, that newly developing economy means what? Who has just left the stage of underdeveloped economy. So in that phase, there is high level of poverty and unemployment, and with that you cannot grow. If you want to grow, you need to have growth with stability. Therefore, fiscal measures such as taxation, public borrowing and deficit financing, etc. should be used properly so that production, consumption and distribution may not adversely affect. See, 3 words are written here. First is taxation, second is public borrowing, and the third one is deficit financing. In the introductory lectures, I have told you that 4 tools are there in a fiscal policy. One is public revenue, second is public expenditure, third one is public borrowing, and the fourth one is deficit financing. Here 3 tools are mentioned. First is taxation. In another words, we can term it as public revenue. Second is public borrowing, and the third one is deficit financing. What is written here? That these 3 tools should be used in such a way that there is increase in our national income. Taxation, public borrowing and deficit financing, etc. should be used properly so that production, consumption and distribution may not adversely affect. Sometimes what happens that we say that by imposing higher tax rate, government's income will increase and infrastructural facility will be increased in the economy, but it is having a second negative side. What is that second negative side? When you increase the tax rates, the people's income will adversely affected. You know that in developing economy, people are not earning too much that they are spending behind luxuries. They are only earning that much which can give them 2 times bread and butter. In that case, if you increase the taxation, the hunger will increase in the economy. It will be very much disastrous situation in the economy when people will not have 2 times bread and butter. The all unethical activity will be started in the economy because people are hungry in a economy. So taxation is good tool to increase government's revenue, but it should not be used in an unwise way. Second one is public borrowing. When people will not have enough income for saving, will they give you loan? Not at all. So public borrowing will not come in a question. And deficit financing. Deficit financing, as I told you, one of the tool of deficit financing is printing new money, but too much printing of new money will lead to the reduction in the monetary value. In that case, inflation will increase a lot. We will discuss in detail when we will talk about deficit financing, but up till now you just remember that too much use of deficit financing is a disastrous act. So these three tools should be used in such a way that it should improve the situation of economy. It should not make it unfavorable for the people. It should promote the economy as a whole, which in turn helps to raise national income and per capita income. The basic motive is to increase the national income, but as national income is not a correct figure to depict the growth of economy, because increase in a national income may not necessarily would mean to increase in a per capita income. National income increase may happen that only one person's or one particular class's income will increase. In that case, there will be no favorable impact will be there in economy. But if per capita income will increase, means if everyone's income will increase, then it is a beneficial situation for our economy. Now let us see what steps can be taken to increase the national income. The first step is capital formation. Second step is inspire investment in the industries useful for economic development. And the third step is tax rebates and concessions to private entrepreneurs. The first step is capital formation. What do you mean by capital formation? In this first objective we have just now discussed, capital formation simply means create the capital. It doesn't mean printing a capital, but create a capital with the help of savings. So when capital will be created, income of the people will increase, and when income of the people will increase, naturally national income will increase because per capita income is increasing. So the first and foremost important step is to have capital formation in our economy. And how to do capital formation, that we have seen in the first objective by taking 4 steps, that is raising ratio of saving, investment and spending in a productive way and reducing inequalities. So 4 steps will again repeat over here as a part of doing capital formation. Then second step is inspire investment in the industries useful for economic development. See, we says that to increase national income, how a national income can be increased? When everyone's income is increasing. When everyone's income will increase, when they are doing economic activity, whether job or business. If we take an example that in a phase of developing, in a developing phase, the ratio of business is less, so most of the people are doing job. So when job will be created, when number of business houses will be increased, but there are a condition. Every business cannot create the employment opportunities in the economy. Only few business can create employment opportunities, and those business, those industries are useful for economic development. Take an example, sugar industry is a basic industry, textile is a basic industry. This requires for economic development. So these are the industries where income can be given to a large number of people. On the other hand, we are having some of the industries where the production activity is done totally on a capital intensive basis, means by machinery only. So no doubt production will increase, the income of owner will increase, but the employment will not generated in the economy, and that industry will not be useful for increasing national income. So when national income can be increased, when those kind of industries will be developed which is useful for economic development. And what are those kind of industries? I have given you examples just now, that are sugar industry is there, textile is there, cement industry is there, so many industries which is producing a basic product which requires in our day-to-day life. So those industries will be termed as an industries useful for economic development. So what a task of government is to inspire investment, is to create more number of this kind of industries in our economy. Then third step is tax rebates and concessions to private entrepreneurs. What is written? Tax rebates. Tax rebates simply means giving tax concession to the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are the businessmen. If you give tax concession, what will happen? To that extent their income will increase. If their income will increase, they will do ploughing back in the industry, means the same savings will be reinvested in a business, and by that way the size of the business will increase, and ultimately it will be beneficial to the economy only. So when you are giving tax rebates, most of the businessmen will be attracted towards doing that business. Tax rebates and concession to private entrepreneurs. We can take an example of Himachal Pradesh. Himachal Pradesh is a zone where tax holidays are provided for 14 years. 14 years, to till that much time you need not to pay single penny to the government. And you know that in business, those who are doing business at a large scale, where the profit is running into the 7 digits figure, if those kind of companies are not paying single penny as a tax, how much capital, how much profit is generated by them till 14 years. And if in next years if government charges the tax, they will not mind at all, because they have collected enough wealth during these 14 years. So during this time period, as their income is increasing, it doesn't mean that they will store in a treasury. In any way they will spend in a economy. So by that way other people's income will also increase. When one person's income is increasing, he will use it, he will increase his demand to purchase so many products, and from whom he will purchase, that person's income will also increase. So this is a chain. When one person's income is increasing, it will affect the increase in the income of other people as well. So by giving tax rebates, we are creating so many businessmen in the economy whose income is increasing, and in indirect way they are helping in increasing the income of other people as well. So when everyone's income is increasing, we can say that national income is increasing. So we have discussed here 3 steps for increasing the national income, which are: first is capital formation, which itself include 4 steps. Then second step is inspire investment in the industries useful for economic development. As I told you that we should create more basic industries in the economy. And the third step is to give tax rebates and concession to the private entrepreneurs. So by that way many businessmen can be created within the economy, and they will help in increasing the national income. We are keeping our discussion here only. From next lecture we will complete rest of the objectives. Thank you.